Hello and welcome to our third episode of Talk of the Town. I'm Peter.
I'm Ross.
I'm Tamara.
And I'm Angus.
And I'm Caroline.
Today we're going to be talking about music. I guess we'll start off by going around the table and ask, what's your favourite music? I say music because I know picking a favourite song can be quite difficult, even an album sometimes.
My favourite song is Angels by Robbie Williams.
I like anything as long as it's no techno.
Well, I think also, like Tamara says, just like pretty much anything really.
I also like listening to basically anything, but to make things interesting, I will say that my favourite band is the Beatles, just so that we've got one pinned down.
I like an eclectic, I'm quite eclectic in my taste in music, but my all-time favourite has always been David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust, and for the minute you play Starman, I am full voice and I can't help myself. So I think that's my all-time favourite, but I like a bit of everything. Apart from Garrett Brooks. I can't do Garrett Brooks.
I don't know who they are.
Country and Western singer, popular in Ireland.
Music for me is very important, and it also brings back memories depending on what song I hear. Not just like from like childhood memories, but even like near the end of college or something. Like if I heard a song, not necessarily playing at college, but like I was listening to a certain song around the same time. So that can sometimes bring back memories of like, oh, this is when college days are over. For me, it's very, very, very important.
Yes, I think I've told you before, if I hear Heart of Glass by Blondie, I'm back in my kitchen and I'm about 5 and the sun is coming in through the window, and it brings me back to a very specific memory when we bought the album and we were playing it on a cassette tape in the kitchen. And it's a lovely memory.
So for me, I was like a mosher at the school, so I still listen to like kind of like all the old kind of mosher songs that I used to listen to, and it takes me back to school as well.
For me, I like anything, any types of music, and I like all different songs.
Mine's As You Meet Six or Paramore.
I
I actually had my hair like Hayley Williams. I thought I was her at one point.
Yeah, that band's like Bring Me the Horizon, like big when I was in high school and all that.
Just hearing those names brings me right back to high school. Any of those bands that have like a name structure that's like verb the noun, those were really popular in my group of people.
We could probably talk about how music makes you feel at some certain points, because Ross, you go to the gym, right? Do you listen to anything particular?
No, I just listen to whatever on the
whatever
gym.
on the radio.
Or whatever the gym is playing.
Okay.
Does it help you keep your rhythm?
Keeps me doing it all the time.
Yeah. Because there's a certain tempo at the gym that they do, isn't there?
Is there any music or music used in a certain way that annoys you?
I hate like high EQ, high pitched, anything high pitched. It's like somebody taking their nails and scratching down a
chalkboard.
Oh, I studied sound engineering at still in college. And like if you heard any of my old recordings back, it was all kind of mid and low kind of when I played with the EQ and the songs, because that high screechy EQ, I couldn't do it. See guitars and all that, electric guitars, fine with it. But see somebody with a big screechy voice and all that, no, can't listen to that. It puts me off. They could have like good rhythm, good like guitar lines, bass, everything, drums. But if someone's got a screechy voice, can't listen to that.
Yeah, same.
Or a tinny snare. Oh, I hate a tinny snare.
Same. I think this is quite common for autistic people like myself, where obviously when we're younger, loud noises can be very annoying. But even to this day, I find very high-pitched noises or just some sudden like loud noises can be very disturbing. So yeah, I can, because when I do like my own music stuff at home or wherever, I just tend to leave out a lot of high-pitched stuff in general.
For me, nothing annoys me more than when people who are very clearly talented singers do that warbling thing with their voice where they go, there's a note that they're trying to hit. It's usually in a cover of a song. It'll annoy me. There's a note that they've got to hit, and then they go over it, then under it, then over it, and under it, and over it, and under it. And it does man nothing.
I don't think I know what that is really.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's you'll see it a lot in like those talent shows like Britain's Got Talent or Idol or whatever.
Do you think they're taught to do that though?
I think
they're
so,
getting
I
like
think
they're
so.
singing like lessons kind of hang.
Because it was very popular like 5 or 10 years ago. Where you
Kind of Mariah Carey type.
It's exactly like that.
Whitney Houston, that
Yeah.
sort
The
of
ballads.
But I really like Mariah Carey.
And they've got good voices. When somebody kind of hit the note, it's washy, it's like pure shaky.
When it's wobbly, when they're doing that wobbly, warbly stuff, that does man that in.
If you can't hit the note, just leave it.
Yeah,
Just leave
yeah.
it. One thing I hate too is auto-tune. Like, see, because I study sound engineering, I can hear it in every song. And I'm like, there was no need for that. If you've got a good voice, I understand, like, with commercial music and stuff, right, aye. But why shift their voice when they didn't need it? You can literally hear it, they sound robotic. And anybody that doesn't know what auto-tune sounds like, listen to Cher. What was the song by Cher? Do you believe in, what is it?
Do you believe in love after love?
What Peter singing? That was auto-tune gone wrong, but they liked it and kept it.
It's-
That's auto-tune.
That type of problem also exists in some modern Disney films where they just get some big name actors who can't sing for their life, so there's some noticeable auto tuning in that, and it sounds dreadful. So not only doing like the original song justice, it's also just it's like nails on a chalkboard as well to me, honestly. My mother, who's someone had to call, like the doctors a lot, and stuff for like my care and all that growing up, and when she had to do a lot of phone calls, and she really started to dislike some classical music because she would hear those being played on the phone over and over and over again. So there were some classical pieces she used to adore, but now she despises. Those calls were going for like 2 hours, and there was like lots of, we'll pass you on to this person, we'll pass you on to this person, and usually there's the same classical piece played over and over again, so it's just really ruined it for her. So even when she hears it not on the phone call, talking to mental health people, and hears it somewhere else, like in a shop or somewhere, she just wants to walk into a power grid. So yeah. Yeah, so I think that there's definitely, I think, cases where some people may love songs, but then just hate them later on if they just are forced to hear them repeatedly. Because in that instant, you can't really put the phone down. You have to. It's like the person could just jump on at any moment.
Coming back to something that you had said earlier about how music makes you feel and stuff, I think music is like a soundtrack to our life, and there's certain pieces of music, and we talked about it takes us to that memory, and there's certain pieces of music that are so appropriate for certain parts of our life, when we feel sad, when we feel happy, when we want to party. So is there any sort of music around that sort of comes to mind when you think of that?
I've always listened to like indie and rock, and like what I'd say one of my favourites is like grunge, because that reminds me a lot like my dad. I've still got like some of his like Pearl Jam tapes and stuff and that, because I like that kind of raw, kind of live sound compared to like commercial stuff. And I think in the 90s you had all that, do you know what I mean? Especially with the grunge and the rock bands and that.
When I was younger, like my mum used to listen to a lot of Alice Cooper in the car. So when I occasionally hear an Alice Cooper song, it does bring me back to like when me and my other siblings would get in the car with mum and drive to wherever, and then just. So when I do occasionally hear an Alice Cooper song now and again, it just does me think of car journeys.
It makes you feel quite warm though, like you were with your family, like stuff like that. I feel the same because I'm really close to my dad, so.
Aye, and it's the same with my older sister. Used to listen to she listened to a lot of hymn, and so when I hear a lot of like when I hear the hymn song, I can usually think of like, oh, we were going to I can't remember that petting zoo place somewhere, because we did occasionally go there. More would usually
Rylands
play.
Farm?
I think so.
Or
Rylands Farm.
Auchengarrick
I think it's that
in
name.
Comrie.
Aye.
Yeah,
Auchengarrick.
Auchengarrick.
Aye, because yeah. So again, that was like during like primary school times for me. So it's as a kid, those type of memories, at least for me, are ingrained into your brain than memories today. I think so. I think it's
And
more.
sometimes there's a piece of music that you can't listen to anymore because a specific thing happened. Does anybody have like?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, like there's a song you loved it, but actually then something happened.
triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah. In high school, there was someone who was throwing things at me. I was listening to a song at a certain moment, so now I can't really listen to that song without like, oh yeah, that artist band of throwing stuff at me. So
It's crap when somebody ruins a song for you,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I get it's years ago, but it's like I can't help that part of my brain. It's just like, oh, here are
Comes
these
back.
memories again. It's like, cheers, brain.
Remember, you didn't forget stuff like that though, do you know what I mean?
No. Especially like again, like if it's high school early memories, it's very easy to remember. I think.
Yeah.
Growing up for me, like music was like a big part of my my identity, and it still is. I would literally fall asleep like earphones in and everything. Like I would need to sleep with my earphones in. I hated silence, and because I was big into music, I always wondered like, oh, how did they get it to sound like this? How did they get it to sound like that? Which made me kind of go into sound engineering and commercial music and stuff as a degree. It's always been like a big massive part in my life and like helped me through stuff.
A lot of music subgenres have like very tightly knit communities. So that's part of what I like about it in terms of like music being part of your identity. It's like it's not just I listen to punk music, it's I am a punk. It's not just I listen to heavy metal, it's I am a metalhead. Like there's a sense of community that you can find in almost every genre of music, which is really brings people together, which I like. Apart from jazz fans who can't agree on anything. But, yeah, but that's the fun of jazz anyway.
I like how there's like communities in like for like subgenres, like because metal's a good one where like a community for like the more musical death metal. I can't remember what the genre's called.
They call it melodic death metal.
Oh yeah, and communities for like grindcore and all that stuff. But I really like that. You know, even if I'm not really a part of those communities, but I do like that people have that to go to.
Like they have that tribe that they find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've talked on previous episodes about how important it is to find people that sort of share beliefs or make you feel like part of a community. So that's part of what makes music such an amazing tool for mental health and well-being. Time to get my one chocolate mention of the episode in that I need to get in every week. It's like if your favourite food was chocolate cake and you ate nothing but chocolate cake, you would despise chocolate cake more than anything. So it's like, in a lot of these cases, something that you hear once and you think, oh, that wasn't bad, I quite liked that. You hear it a second time, you're like, hey, I appreciated things about it that I missed the first time round. Hearing it 17 times, it really starts to lose its luster.
The radio can ruin songs as well, because it's just play it and play it and play
Repeats
it. And
it.
it's like, oh.
Yeah, and that's why at the gym, like, it's good to hear a few songs now and again, but like, even at college when I like waiting in the canteen where we'll just play like the same songs, like it's like I swear I've heard this song being played for like 6 months in a row now. As you were saying, like I just get tired of for my taste, not the most challenging music or interesting to listen to. I mean, if other people like that, good for them. But for me, it's just like there's just so many other songs out there, you know.
I did want to say that we have had our research team dig up some pretty interesting facts about music that tie into what we've been talking about in terms of like you listen to music, you feel really good if it's a song that you like. I was wondering if there was any scientific basis for this.
So in terms of well-being, playing music is a workout for the brain. Musicians often have more developed memory, coordination and problem-solving skills due to the mental challenge of playing a musical instrument. And that's really interesting. But also just listening to your favourite song can give you a natural high. Your brain releases dopamine, the same chemicals involved in reward and pleasure when you hear music. And they've done things where they've put people through a brain scanner and played music, and practically the whole brain lights up. Music can act as emotional first aid. It helps people process and express emotions, making it a powerful tool for mental health. There's been lots of research into people with Alzheimer's or dementia, where people are struggling with memory and language, but actually when you play a song that they may recognise from their youth, it triggers vivid memories and emotions, and they might even actually get up and sing a whole song, and you can see people who hear a tune and be able to play it on the piano because they remember playing it when they were younger. Music therapy can improve lots of people's lives. It's involved for people with mental health, but people with complex learning difficulties as well. Musical memory is processed in the parts of the brain that are often untouched by Alzheimer's. Those facts kind of touch on those things: memory, emotion.
My grandfather, when he had when he had dementia, like obviously he couldn't, even at his very, I guess, worst stage of dementia, when you played music, he would recognize it. Like he would remember like the theme from Dad's Army on the television, or like one of the sort of more classical pieces when my aunt played it to him when we were looking after him.
I remember when my grandfather, he was in early stages, although we didn't know it at the time. He was always kind of dissociated, but the only time I ever saw him animated was we just stuck an old CD of his in the player, and it's that. I don't know if any of you have heard it, that dreadful song from like 1940 that just goes, Pennsylvania 5000.
Yes, I've heard
I
that.
didn't think of that.
Well,
No.
his whole face lit up, and I'm like, this is the most boring song I've ever heard. It's like magic. It's like magic.
It's triggered a memory.
Mm-hmm.
I find it interesting you mentioned earlier about people who play music, they do feel,
Better memory and stuff,
Aye.
and problem solving skills and that.
yeah. Playing instruments definitely makes me feel better. It can definitely put aside some of the more gruesome memories, whether that's just playing like the ukulele or now the double bass now. So
You can lose yourself in it, and your mind is just solely focused on the rhythm and
Yep.
the music and the playing. So all the other things can sit to the back. So it's a really, really good meditative tool. And a lot of creative activities like that, drawing, playing music, writing, they can really take you out of that sort of your own brain a little bit.
Because that's what they use now, like the mental health services. It's kind of like creative stuff in that, and it does help. It's relaxing.
It gives you a break from your own thoughts.
It's good to have these hobbies that are like active instead of passive. So it's like reading a book. That's great. It's really helpful. So, you can read the best stories in the world. But if you write your own story, then you're engaging parts of the brain that aren't normally used, and that's beneficial by itself. And that goes for everything else, like playing music versus listening to it, or
Drawing and painting.
yeah,
Yeah.
drawing, painting, all the greatest hits.
that's why I love doing creative stuff like making music or doing drawing or creating or just occasionally doing typing stuff, especially when I was working on my game, because it was definitely, well, for all the reasons you just said, it just definitely made my brain feel light up a bit, so it's definitely helpful in that way. If anyone listening is interested, I definitely encourage people to be creative. It's fun, or write stuff or play music. ChatGPT does not count.
Or any AI.
Did you know that Godzilla's roar in the 1954 film Godzilla was recorded using a double bass? That's my fun musical fact for the episode. Everyone loves this fact. I've said it 3 or 4 times in the lead up to the recording of this episode, and it just gets more interesting the more you say it.
I definitely find it interesting, because when I've been getting into double bass and learning about the instrument, I assumed that its nickname was a bass violin. It is now, but before that, apparently there was another instrument called a bass violin, which I think is a step down from the cello, which is like interesting to learn about, and how the double bass just, I think, more or less just took its place over time.
The thing about the cello as well is that it is just a big violin.
Yeah,
But
so it's a double bass.
I know. What I was trying to say was that I didn't know this until a couple of years ago, but cello is always correctly spelled with an apostrophe in front of it, because cello is short for violoncello, because it's just a big violin.
Okay.
Wow.
A second musical fact.
So we're all going to have to watch Godzilla and listen out for
Yeah.
that particular bit.
Or when I get my own double bass, when I move into my own place, I'm going to get a glove, or was it oil? Was it with oil?
They took a glove, they put some kind of oil on it, and then they went from the bottom all the way to the top, and it creates the iconic Godzilla roar sound.
Is that below the bridge?
I couldn't tell you, as I believe all the primary sources for this are in Japanese.
Okay. I'll definitely have a look at it.
But yeah, music is such a big part of society and our culture as a whole that it's really difficult to it's difficult to walk outside and not hear some kind of music, whether that's you go into a shop blasted with music, car drives by with the windows down, you're blasted with music. It's just something that brings everyone together.
There's a real cultural thing as well. If you go to different cultures, so you've got like your Bhangra beats, which is, and I automatically have my hands up to try and dance when I ever even mention it. But then you've got your Scottish and Irish folk scene. You've got American country. There's a whole culture built around sort of certain musics that really identify a place. And Asian music.
Oh yes, a lot of it's very beautiful.
Yeah. And some of them, I'm not a musician, but some of them work on different sort of beat patterns. There are other things culturally, though. When I think of like culture and music, I think of like the work songs that people had in like factories and old traditional sort of industries. And the most famous one probably in Scotland is the walking songs, or the Oran Luig, where they would stretch the weave of the like woven tartan and woven cloth, and to keep the rhythm, because they would have to sort of stretch it, and to make sure they stretched it even, they would sing these particular songs. And because the melody was really even, it meant that everybody was stretching it to the same beat. And what you can't see on the podcast is I'm actually doing the action.
We've actually got a loom in here today, and we've been weaving the whole time.
Click, click.
There's also like people writing about music about the experience, or like work or anything. Like there's well, this is a very broad example, but like, is anyone familiar with the song 16 Tons, I think it's called? I can't remember the name of the artist, but it's a very old song. It's about him singing about like I think the miners somewhere in America, where there's a lyrics that says I owe my soul to the company's store, because they didn't really get any money. They got like, I don't know, it's like tokens or something, where it's like, here's the tokens when you get from mining, and you can just buy this from the store and you don't get paid properly. So that's him singing. He's like about this horrible experience working there. That's my understanding. I could be wrong, but I think that's what the song's about.
I think I know the song you're talking about. So yeah, that's about talking about your experience of work, and then there's songs that people use in work that help the rhythm of the day go. But but they're very culturally specific as well, aren't they? Yeah.
I think the most famous example is probably sea shanties, because every single sea shanty had a slightly different rhythm, because you would sing them when you were doing a different task on the ship, but they all had to be done by like huge teams of people doing stuff in perfect harmony, otherwise something horrible would probably happen. I just felt that was super interesting as well.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And the rhythm of music allows for that, because everybody's on the same beat. And that's really, which happens with the walking songs, with Walking the Cloth as well.
It's like a universal language almost.
Yeah.
I tend to find music with, like I said, I like all types of music, but I generally find music where they have like something to say, generally much more interesting.
So
like
that sort of storytelling type song.
Or trying to get a message across, like, like Rage Against the Machine,
I was about to say that,
or like System of a Down and all that. Where it's like, where it comes across as genuine, at least to me. So which I find much more interesting than like the same like songs where just talk about how beautiful someone, a person is over and over. I get sick of
I
very
agree with
quickly.
you. I agree with you. With strong messages.
Right.
You've got bands like Kneecap and all that nowadays too. I'm not a big fan of rap music, but there's bands with strong political views.
Whether you agree with them or not, it's a vehicle to get their point across. And it has, the band that you mentioned has helped to revitalise some of the Irish language in Northern Ireland. Whether you, how you feel about other things that they've said is different.
I remember too, but like Rage Against the Machine, a lot of Americans like kind of turned against them because they didn't understand. Like a lot of people didn't understand what they were raging against.
There was one of those awful Trump rallies, and they were dancing to a Rage Against the Machine song called "Killing in the Name of," and
It's police brutality.
Yeah, exactly. So they were like dancing to something that they usually moan about. So it's just weird. It's just, but I think it just goes to show how some people don't really maybe think about this type of
understand the
song
because they're singing.
It's because even like the I forget the lead singer's name. Even he, like, I think he tweeted like saying like they clearly don't understand at all. They just see title and it's catchy music and it just ends there for them. Nothing else.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Aye, which
But
is
it's just
so-
weird. But it's weird to go to like a huge political where we have very strong political views, and then you dance to a song that has the polar opposite. You know.
their views.
Yeah.
Aye.
How do you feel about piano covers of songs? You have strong views about this, Peter.
I prefer not to discuss them due to the time constraints. If you would like to subscribe to my own podcast where I explicitly talk about how much I hate piano covers of classic rock songs, every episode is 2 hours long, full of expletives.
If anyone's listening and is interested in taking part in some musical activities, you can find some at the Ratblock campus. There's the ukulele group on the Monday and the choir group on a Thursday. You can also find some at the Tool booth. There are some musical classes for both kids and adults. There's also some musical classes at Creative Sterling for the younger folk.
Once again, thank you very much to the Toll booth for allowing us to record in their beautiful studio. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for listening, and as usual, we're going to finish off with a little discussion about what you can see in nature around this time. Time of recording, all the trees are in bloom. You'll see a great variety of colours as stuff starts to come out. If you're lucky, you will start to see some baby rabbits jumping about as I have done. So keep an eye out and you might be able to see some as well. Don't forget, speaking of music, it would be a great opportunity for you to stick on some headphones, go outside, take a walk in nature and listen to some music while you do so. Thank you so much for listening everyone, and we hope to have you back next time. Everyone say bye.
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 Cheery.